Have you ever wondered how a young life, filled with promise and potential, can spiral into darkness so deep that nothing seems able to stop it? The story of Christa Pike, one of the youngest women sentenced to death in the United States, is a haunting tale of violence, tragedy, and the complex forces that shape human behavior. It is a story that cuts to the heart, revealing how jealousy, anger, and pain can lead to unthinkable acts, leaving scars that last a lifetime. Christa Pike was born on March 10, 1976. By the time she was a teenager, her life had already been marked by difficulties and hardship. She struggled with an abusive family background and emotional turmoil that many believe played a role in her later actions. At only 18 years old, Christa was a student at the Job Corps Center in Knoxville, Tennessee, a place meant to help young people build better futures through education and work training. But it was here, in the shadows of a hopeful new beginning, that a tragic and violent crime unfolded. On January 11, 1995, Christa told a friend that she intended to harm another student, Colleen Slemmer. The next evening, Christa and two accomplices, her boyfriend Tadaryl Shipp and Shadala Peterson, lured 19-year-old Colleen out of the dormitory under false pretenses. What followed was a nightmarish assault that lasted for nearly an hour. Christa and her boyfriend attacked Colleen with relentless violence, slashing her throat multiple times with a box cutter and a meat cleaver, beating her with rocks, and repeatedly kicking her face and body. They dragged her to a remote area near the campus where she struggled for her life. Even when Colleen begged for mercy, the cruelty continued. In a horrifying act, Christa carved a pentagram, a five-pointed star associated with dark and satanic symbolism, across Colleen's forehead and chest. Christa admitted to taking a piece of Colleen's skull as a trophy and carried it with her. She showed it to friends the next day, coldly smiling and singing as she recounted the crime. Her chilling lack of remorse and disturbing behavior stunned everyone who heard the details. Colleen's body was so badly beaten that a groundskeeper initially mistook it for an animal carcass. Such was the violence of the attack. The crime shook the community and led to swift police investigations. Despite the brutality, none of Christa's friends reported the crime to authorities, a silence that compounded the tragedy. Once arrested, Christa was charged with first-degree murder, along with her boyfriend and accomplices. During the trial, the defense highlighted Christa's painful childhood, suggesting that years of abuse contributed to her actions. Still, Christa herself acknowledged knowing exactly what she was doing on that terrible night. She showed no hesitation in admitting her role and expressed no regret for the suffering caused. The jury found Christa guilty on all counts, and she was sentenced to death by electrocution, a rare sentence for a woman, and especially striking because of her youth. In the courtroom, the judge declared it one of the worst cases he had ever seen. Christa's courtroom demeanor oscillated between tears and defiance. She spoke of her regrets, but also made chilling statements about the clarity she had during the crime and the darkness within her. Years later, Christa remains the only woman on Tennessee's death row. She has repeatedly sought clemency and legal avenues for reprieve, but the courts have upheld her sentence. Her case remains a difficult subject, a reminder of the deep wounds violence inflicts on victims, families, and society. Beyond Christa Pike's story, the video reveals other chilling cases of young people sentenced to death for brutal crimes. These include Pedro Espinoza, who killed a young boy in California; Marlon Joseph, a father who murdered a neighbor and her child; Michael Bargo, who orchestrated a murder at just 15, and others whose actions brought devastation to individuals and communities. Many of these stories involve teenagers caught in cycles of poverty, gang violence, abuse, and poor choices. Courtrooms become stages where families plead for justice and mercy. The aftermath of these crimes ripples far beyond the courtroom, impacting loved ones, shaping lives, and haunting memories. The video offers raw and emotional courtroom footage, bringing to life the moments when judges deliver sentences, when families speak about loss, and when offenders face the truth of their own actions. It shows the complexity of the justice system wrestling with the harsh realities of youth, crime, and punishment. Through these stories, we see the tragic consequences of violence and broken lives. We confront uncomfortable questions about how society supports young people and the balance between punishment and rehabilitation. And we witness the strength of those who endure grief and demand accountability. If this story moves you, please consider liking this video, subscribing to our channel for more profound real-life stories, and sharing it with others who want to understand the human side of justice and crime. Together we can remember the victims, learn from the past, and seek paths toward healing and hope. Thank you for watching.